Okay, let's pick up right where we left off. What we're going to make in this video is something to create a pug. So you enter the pug's name, its age, maybe a picture, and it'll save it on the server. And then there's another page that lists all the pugs that people have saved to the server. Which should we make first? It's a bit difficult to test the create pugs page if we don't have something to list the pugs that are there. So let's make list pugs first. To help us with that, we're going to need some way to store our list of pugs. The way that I'm going to store it is as a Python list, okay? So a Python list looks like this. This is a list with nothing in it. Now, last time I mentioned that you can have, you can what's called initialize or set initial values of, maybe a pug called Thug and a pug called Mug, the pug. So this list has 2 items in it, and these items are string. This page is going to be a lot more complicated. In this one, instead of being a list with strings in it, it's going to be a list with entire objects in it. Python calls these dictionaries. So I'll just lay this out nicely. What's a nice way to lay it out? There you go. Perhaps like this. Ooh, there we go. So this is a list with one object in it, one dictionary. A dictionary lets you give more information than just a single string. I could say the name of this thing is a hug pug. I called it hug pug because hug rhymes with pug. There you go. The age of this thing is 8. It's an 8-year-old hug pug. Even say the picture for this pug is I need a location of a picture of a pug. I could go Googling. I have saved in this static directory all of these images here. So we're going to use a relative URL, from our own web server. So from our own web server, if we go static/hugpug.jpg, there we go. So there's the pugs, and they're hugging each other. So I can copy this part. This means that it's, relative to your current location. So if you were serving this on facebook.com, it would try facebook.com/static/hugpug.jpg. It's just an easy way of, referring to pictures that are on your web server, on your own web server. So what is this? This is a list. The list has one item in it. The one item is a dictionary that has lots of information about one pug. Okay. Tricky to grasp, quite tricky to grasp. It will take some time and some practice. But let's make a thing to list our pugs, of which there's only one for now. And I'll call the name of this function the same thing. I'll call it list pugs. All this is going to do is just render the template. Return. Mr. Inari, don't be silly. Return render template. I'm going to make a page called list pugs.html. I need to somehow pass this list into that page. Let me go into the page and let me show you why. So I don't actually have a list pugs.html. So let's get one of our old ones. Let's get maybe adder. Yeah, let's get adder. Copy that. Control A, Control C, Control N, Control V. There you go. You got a new file. It's exactly the same. Works the same on Mac. It's just that Mac uses command. I don't need all this gobbledygook in here. I was a bit lazy. I'm just borrowing this to extend my base. So I've still got all the navigation bar. Maybe make a big heading. This is a list of pugs. Now I can save this as templates as list pugs.html. There you go. So hopefully this link will work. Fingers crossed. Excellent. It works. So what it's doing is it's loading this function. It's calling this function, I should say, which is then returning, where's the template? This template. Now, it would be nice if I could just say pugs, and it'll give me a list of the pugs, but it doesn't. Why not? Because I never pass the variable pugs. If you want to access a variable in your page, you need to pass it in your render template function here. So now, hopefully, it should list my single pug. There he is, hug pug, age 8, and there's his picture. Cool. Python by default, if you give it a list or a list of, list of anything, list of strings, list of objects, it won't print it very nicely. It'll print it in its Python-y kind of format. So let's go through, let's change this. Let's say, for each pug in that list of pugs, and then we need a corresponding N4. So this will go through for each pug in there. Now I can print the single pug that I'm looking at. The single pug that I'm looking at will just be this. Oops, sorry. It'll be this. It'll be this object, okay? So that means it won't print those square brackets. Yeah, it's still pretty ugly because it's trying to print all of this object. To make it a bit more user-friendly, I can just pick a single property. I can just pick the name and the age is what I'm going to say. So let's go back. Name, pug name. So this is how you can refer to specific things in a dictionary using square brackets and then single quotes for what property you want to get. So hopefully this should just print his name. Pug. Oh yeah, cool. And let's print his age as well. Pug. Oopsie, that's a bit loud. Pug age. There we go. Neat. If you want these to be on different lines, there's many different ways to do it. Normally I say just use a BR is probably the easiest way to force it to be on another line. Cool. And maybe I might even make this guy bold. There you go. Just so it stands out. And make this guy bold. Ooh. There you go. Cool. Let's put that in alignment. Wicked. It lists all the pugs. Cool. We need some way to create pugs now. So let's work on that page. So we've got our list pugs page here. Again, I'm going to copy this, make a new page with it, paste, and delete all this junk in the middle. And this is going to be my create a pug page. I'm going to save this as in templates as create pug.html. Okay, so I'm going to need some sort of form so they can, like type the name of the pug and everything. So let's make a form. Its action. Let me think. So we want this to probably just go back to the same page. Action equals / create pug. Its method is going to be post because it's sending information to the server. I'm going to need to have some input, where the user can enter text that is the name of the pug. Oops, name equals name. So the name of this field just happens to be name because it's the name of the pug. The next one is also going to be text, and this is going to be the age of the pug. And then the next one is going to be text, the picture, because remember we had a picture there as well. This is going to be picture URL. So I've got 3 inputs on this page. Do you think this page will show when I click this button? Think of your answer now. Yeah, the answer is no. The answer is no, it won't work. Why not? URL was not found on the server. If you ever get that URL not found on the server, it's probably because you've never defined what should happen when you hit that rule. We've never defined what should happen when you go to /create /create_pugs. So let's make a thing here, app.route, create pugs, create pugs, and I'm going to return that same template that I just created. What was it called? Create pug.html. There we go. So now it displays my form. It's not very helpful. It would be nice if these things had labels. One user-friendly way to make labels is by putting a label tag. And I would actually put this input inside the label tag for very confusing reasons. So this is going to be a pug name. Maybe I'll... There we go. This is a little bit... Ooh, what's happening? Ah, there we go. Cool. Why is it complaining? It's red, which suggests there's a problem. It does match with that one, but I forgot the greater than at the end of this. Now it's happy. There we go. So label for that one. Label for that one. And now I'll just cut that, put it in there. Cut that, put it in there. So each one is inside a label now. The first one actually has a label. The second one do not have any description. So this one will be the pug. I'll put this back up here. Pug age, and this is going to be the picture URL. There we go. Neat. Make it nice and neat. The neatness doesn't really matter too much. Indentation is really useful. So then you can see what is inside the label and what is inside the form. Like, oh, all this stuff's in the form. So that actually is very handy. There we go. Pug name, pug age, and picture URL. I don't have a submit button. Let's whack a submit button in there. Input type equals submit. There we go. So currently this sends it back to the same page, but you know, same as before. We need some way to actually handle this post. You know, this thing doesn't handle post at the moment. It only handles get. If you don't say which methods, it will only handle get. So let's get this thing to handle methods equals, well, it's going to be the same as above here, get and post. So it's going to handle those two roots. So at least now it won't have an error. It still won't save it. You know, we've got no code. Ooh. Oh dear. Not found. Oh, create pugs. Create pug. Create pugs. Create pug. Okay. Create pug. There we go. So pug name. Well, it still won't save it. I don't even need to put actual data in here because we already know there's nothing in here to actually save the new pug to this list. Now, this I guess is pretty tricky and pretty complicated. To give you the idea, let's make an object for our new pug that we're going to create. It's often easiest when coding to what's called hard code your first attempt. When I say hard code, I mean let's completely ignore what they enter and just say this is always going to add a new pug and its name is going to be, let's say maybe Thug Pug. It's just always going to add Thug Pug no matter what you do. You can enter whatever you want. This is called hard coding. Hard coding is when you're putting the values in your code. Age maybe 4 and picture. I should put that in quotes, you know, to be consistent with the one up here. Static, what have I got? Thug pug dot jpeg. So save that. This makes a new object. Well, this object here, this dictionary, Python calls it, and saves it in this variable. It's not adding it to this list yet, so I can add a new line to add that to the list. To really show what I mean by this, let's have a look. Let's print new pug. So let's print this guy to the terminal when you visit this page. What'll it do? There we go. So that's the pug that we've created. You can get specific properties of it, just like you could in the template. You can get just his name if you wanted. Again, it doesn't matter what you enter here. It's hard-coded. It's always going to do Thug Pug. There we go. So that's just a little bit of testing. The real magic is that we're going to then add this pug to this list. So I'd like to get this pugs list and append. Append means add to the end. New pug. So this will add new pug to that list. Save. So hopefully, no matter what I enter here, it should add a pug called Thug Pug. Did it work? I don't know. We need to test it. If only there was some page that had a list of the pugs. There we go. Awesome. So I've now made a thing that create a pug and add it to the list. It's hard-coded though. Instead of the name being Thug Pug, we want the name to come from request.form.get name. Why? Because I don't want the name to always be Thug Pug. I want the name to be create pugs. That again. I want the name to be what they entered here. You know, what was in the form. So get the name from the form. Their age, I don't want their age to always be 4. I want it to replace that with whatever age they entered in the form. Age. There you go. And the same, the picture. I don't want the picture to always be Thug Pug. They might not put a picture of a Thug Pug. They might put another picture. So form.get what was that called? That was called picture URL, wasn't it? Let's go back and check. ThugPug. This form element, so this input was called picture URL. So this needs to be consistent. Picture URL. Is it a bit silly that I called that picture and that picture URL? Yes, but this gets it from the form, and the form is here. There's a thing called picture URL, so it has to be called picture URL there. You might be a little bit confused about the... nope, I can't make a wrap. This here could just go there. It's only because of wrapping that it's on the next line, because it didn't quite fit. So hopefully now I can make a new pug, maybe called MugPug. You know, 2 years old. Picture URL /static/mugpug.jpg, and then submit. Hopefully MugPug is in my list. Awesome. If you're curious where the other pug went, yeah, we had a ThugPug, right? You remember adding ThugPug? Where'd ThugPug go? ThugPug is gone. Every time you make a change here and save it, it restarts the server. And when it restarts the server, it runs this from top to bottom. So it'll reset pugs to be this array. So when you restart the server, we will always get HugPug for free because he's in this list. So it'll put him in there, but it won't put any of the other guys. All right, see how you go. I will see you next video for the final thing. In fact, I don't think there's a whole lot left, just making it pretty. So good luck. Like, share, subscribe, do what you gotta do, yada, yada, yada. Bye.